Halo, selamat sore.
Selamat sore semuanya. Wah. Akhirnya kita muncul juga ya.
Iya dong. Dari tadi udah nungguin ya.
Dari tadi nungguin. Ya lumayan ya. Kita dari tadi nungguin jam berapa sih?
Iya. Kebetulan kayaknya dari jam 12 ya.
Jam 12 ya.
Lagi terik-teriknya sambil sunbathing.
Rachel luar biasa emang ini ya.
Agak banyak halu ya sepertinya.
Gak apa-apa. Tapi nanti kita gak bakalan halu karena kita kedatangan someone spesial.
Bener banget dong pastinya. Dan pastinya selamat datang juga untuk semua teman-teman yang udah hadir di sini.
Yes.
Selamat datang di Live on Radio with Sezairi.
Bener banget. Seru mana tepuk tangannya dulu dong. Woi, asik nih ya.
Asik dong,
dan terima kasih juga untuk SONY Music dan juga The WESTIN Resort Nusa Dua Bali sudah memberikan kesempatan kita untuk ada di acara ini.
Bener banget. Nah kalau pas di sini juga nggak abdul kalau misalkan nggak main Insta Stories ya nggak sih, gitu
iya
kan?
Dong, wajib
jangan
banget
lupa.
nih ya.
Jangan lupa makanya kamu harus tag juga di @westinbali, di @ikan.bali juga.
Yes.
Jangan lupa di Phoenix Radio Bali dan Penguin FM Bali.
Benar sekali. Buat teman-teman jangan lupa langsung upload story biar update.
Bener.
Kan ya. Dan kali ini juga kita live on radio digelar di Ikan Restoran Westin Resort Nusa Dua Bali. Dan senang sekali ada saya Vino Bramasta dan
Rachel Ananda.
Kita menjadi host untuk acara sore hari ini.
Asik banget pastinya ya. Dan selamat datang juga nih pastinya untuk teman-teman dari Amdi Bali Nusra yang mungkin sekarang lagi on the way kayaknya ya.
Masih on the way ya, beberapa juga sudah datang sih ya Rachel ya. Dan mengenai, kita langsung ke topiknya sekarang nih, kayaknya lagi seru banget.
Iya seru banget.
Yang sempat viral juga sih lagunya
bukan
guys ya. Iya kan, tahu kan lagunya ya, siapa sih yang gak suka dengerin lagu dari salah satu penyanyi ini kayaknya.
Tapi coba dong nyanyiin dikit bisa gak?
Saya suka
iya
nyanyi.
coba dong.
Ini cluenya nih ya. Agak bero ya.
Gak apa-apa, setidaknya teman saya agak nyadar ya.
Mohon maaf yang punya lagu ya.
Tidak bermaksud
mengubah lagunya. Tapi emang salah satu liriknya You are my love, and my beginning.
Aduh, so sweet banget.
Dalam banget.
Tahu nggak faktanya ya, gara-gara lagu ini tuh banyak sebenarnya cowok-cowok yang pada marah-marah.
Kenapa?
Karena cewek-ceweknya pada bilangin nyanyi ini kayak Sezairi dong. Gimana sih?
Dituntut
gitu,
banget
iya.
ya.
Kayak pakai penghayatan kan
harus.
nyanyinya.
Sebenarnya udah pakai penghayatan Rachel, cuman ya begitulah keluarnya ya.
Oh, iya.
Nah, itu juga salah satu lagu milik Sezairi yang lagu ini juga membuat Sezairi sebagai artis Singapura pertama yang mencapai lebih dari 100 juta pendengar di Spotify. Tepuk tangan dulu dong. Keren banget nih. Keren ya pencapaiannya ya.
Ini luar biasa dong. Kita kapan ya? Kayaknya nggak akan keluar-keluar juga ya.
Kan ini banyak dari label ya.
Iya benar.
Ya,
mungkin kita mau diorbitkan ya ampun bahasanya.
Kayak astronot ya.
Tapi kayaknya kita nggak perlu lama-lama sih sebenarnya karena yang satu ini mereka bukan mau tahu kita. Maksudnya teman-teman dari sini pasti pengen taunya yang satu ini.
Yang satu ini harus dong ya. Boleh kita undang langsung Rachel?
Langsung aja kita undang yang mau kenalan dulu lebih dekat dengan Sezairi. Mana nih Sezairi? Oh di sebelah sini ternyata.
Sebelah sini datangnya. Halo.
How are
you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Alright.
Kita duduk ya,
Boleh
permisi.
duduk ya,
lumayan heelsnya agak sakit ini soalnya, jadi sambil duduk.
Capek hostnya ya.
Baik, tentu saja. Hai, how are you?
I'm good, thank you so much for having me. Apa kabar?
Baik banget, kita juga sangat
ya.
luar biasa banget.
Apalagi Sezairi menyempatkan waktu untuk datang ke sini.
Terima kasih.
Thank you very much.
It's an honor for us ya pastinya.
Really?
Ketemu sama langsung yang punya lagu viral banget.
Viral banget nih. Wah, kita kalau misalnya udah ketemu kayak gini nggak asik kalau misalnya nggak tanya-tanya dong.
Iya pastinya dong ya. Tapi kalau misalnya Sezairi, this is like your day 5th or day 6 in Bali?
Hari ke...
Because I saw it in your Instagram actually. 6?
Ke 6? Yeah.
Yeah, so how's everything with Bali?
Wow, so I've been staying in Ubud.
Oh.
Yeah, and
nice.
I love Ubud so much.
It's kind of different from here, right?
Beda banget dari Singapore. Yeah, it's very different from Singapore. It's very different from Nusa Dua, obviously. But aku memang pengen sih, like the suasana yang
very different.
Yeah, very different. A lot of trees.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of ayam.
A lot of ayam.
Okay. I actually have a fear of ayam.
Really?
Yeah.
But now,
aku nggak tahu sih. Dari kecil
you
lagi.
don't like ayam?
Yeah, from when I was young, memang takut sama ayam.
Oh.
Jadi di Ubud itu di mana-mana ada ayam. Jadi. So it's a bit scary for me.
I know, right?
But you like crispy chicken, right?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's different way.
Yeah.
Between.
Kalau dimakan tuh bisa.
Kalau dimakan
alright.
bisa.
Yes,
Karena
really
lupa ya formnya kayak gimana ayamnya.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, before we jump to the your new album, we're talking about new album right now. So let's talk about your viral single "It's You." Yeah. Okay. The whole Indonesian people know about your viral single "It's You," and then, but maybe not at all them really know about what's the meaning of "It's You" of the singles. And then you went to music school because Sezairi dreaming become a music producer. Is it right?
Yeah, sebenarnya
So you
I
can
went to music school because ayah saya didn't allow me to become a singer.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to music school to belajar production karena dia nggak mau saya menjadi seorang penyanyi. Jadi I told him like kalau producer bisa, dia kata oh kalau producer oke.
Oh.
Jadi dari situ saya belajar production dari kuliah, waktu kuliah dulu belajar production.
But why?
Tapi
music
masih lagi
school?
pengen nyanyi karena the real reason is di Singapura kami wajib militer. Jadi anak laki-laki yang 18 tahun ke atas memang wajib militer. Jadi waktu itu aku udah 19 tahun. And then I didn't want to go.
Oh, really?
I didn't want to go into the military, so I was looking at where else, mana lagi yang bisa saya pergi.
Okay, and then?
Jadi waktu itu saya di daerah, there's this area in Singapore called Clarke Quay.
Clarke Quay.
I think a lot of people know where that is ya. And I saw a busker, dia basking ya.
Okay.
And then saya tanya dia, 1 jam bisa dapat uangnya berapa ya 1 jamnya? Gitu. Dia kata 1 jam dalam $50 gitu.
Wow.
Aku kira-kira wah ini bisa dong. Ya, jadi dari situ dia beritahu saya yang dia sebenarnya kuliah di sekolah musik.
Okay.
And when I was at that age, I didn't know that itu satu possibility, you know. And I was like, "What? You can do that?" And so I looked it up and I was like, there's two art schools in Singapore, hanya 2 aja.
Only 2.
So I picked one and then I got accepted. And waktu itu aku masih pengen jadi penyanyi, jadi they gave me a spot in the vocal degree course.
Wow.
But my dad didn't want to pay for it unless I studied production. So I studied production instead of singing. And then I dropped out of school actually.
Oh.
Yeah. I've dropped out of every school that I've been into.
But you're not finishing anything.
Yeah, I'm a very uneducated person actually. Yeah. Every school that I've been to, I dropped out. But I'm just a very lucky guy to be able to, I think, just dari situ memang fokus saya hanya menulis lagu dan manggung. And so dari situlah jadi seorang musisi.
Yes.
Wow, keren banget sih.
I think both of them they are producer of music and a singer is not a different way. I think it's the same, still in the music area.
A little bit, yeah, kind of the same.
Kind of the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you also joined the Singapore Idol and won it. So how's your father reaction?
That's the continuation of the story kan. Karena when I got kicked out of school, I was like, the story is I got the letter.
Yeah.
And I was gonna give it to my mother. But then on TV there was a commercial of the Singapore Idol commercial.
Yeah.
So, will you be the next singer?
Yeah.
And I was like, I could do that, yeah.
Oh.
And that was the moment in which I was in one hand holding the letter that I got kicked out from school, and on the other hand watching the Singapore Idol commercial, and it just kayak fate gitu. Yeah, and so it felt like it was fated. And I joined the competition and I didn't really think, basically it's still the same. I didn't want to go to militer. so that's why I joined it again. And then 6 bulan berlalu and I was at the finals in the Singapore Indoor Stadium, nyanyi di hadapan 10,000 orang.
Wow.
Tapi 4 hari kemudian aku ke militer.
Oh.
Selepas juara musim ketiga, 4 hari kemudian I went into the army for 2 tahun.
You got enlist right away.
Yeah, so itulah cerita Sezairi. It was quite a crazy time in my life. Tapi itu udah 13 tahun yang lalu ya.
13 years ago.
14 ya, tahun 2009.
Oh wow.
2009. Okay.
Berarti nggak langsung membuat music, right? You're not making music right away because you have to go to enlist.
I had a contract from the record label.
Oh no.
Tapi mereka semua bingung. Mereka semua gimana ya? Karena kamu wajib militer tapi udah ada kontrak, harus rekam album semuanya. And so it was a very confusing time for me. Yeah.
So after during your joining the wajib militer, you Sezairi like make a sing also or maybe?
Yeah. So we have this island in Singapore called Pulau Tekong.
Okay.
And dalam Pulau Tekong itu is a military compound. So every Sunday you'll take a ferry from the ferry terminal 30 minute into the Pulau Tekong. And then the next Saturday you'll get out. So you have 1 day free.
Okay.
Yeah, you have 1 day free. And during that 1 day is when I'll be in the studio recording new music.
Wow, still.
Yeah, so it was quite crazy.
It is crazy, of course. I mean, like, after you won, this is the biggest competition. Then you have to enlist.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But again, you want to make a music.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I first went into Pulau Tekong and we were all gathering together, they were playing my song. And I was walking in and 400 people were looking at me and going, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
And yeah, it was overwhelming at first, but I think the military really changes you as a person.
Of course.
When you join, it really gives you a different perspective on life and freedom and the importance of, for me, really the importance of protecting the people that you love.
Yeah.
Understanding what that actually means, you know, like physically.
Yeah,
so
physically.
that was quite a life-changing 2 tahun.
Oh, alright.
Tapi trainingnya hanya 3 bulan. Tapi selepas itu they will give you a vocation. So ada yang jadi infantry, ada yang jadi supir, ada yang jadi armor, tank gitu, ada yang jadi medic. Tapi aku dipanggil untuk jadi penyanyi dalam
singer
dalam Armed Forces Band gitu.
Military singer.
Military band.
Military band.
Wow.
Ya, jadi buat 2 tahun kerja aku nyanyi untuk like Sultan Brunei, all the delegates yang datang ke Singapura. Itu kerja aku jadi nyanyi aja lah. So I mean, thankfully also that I got to
keep singing.
I feel like the army for me was more like music school than music school was. Gitu.
But at least you graduate from that.
Yeah,
right.
At least, yeah.
Oh, congrats. So after you joining with the labels, what the best experience or maybe the funny moments you during the labels and right now?
Oh wow. So I think dalam career I've been with 2 labels.
Labels.
The first one, I had an opportunity to open for Taylor Swift's concert.
Wow.
And so the unforgettable experience is,
alright.
when I went out on stage, they thought I was Taylor Swift. So aku dapat rasain apa yang dia rasa sih.
Yes.
I have never heard like it's like 10,000 animals gitu ya. Ya bukan macam manusia gitu bunyinya, like people are so fanatic gitu ya. So the sound of 10,000 people screaming for Taylor Swift, I had to do this when I went on stage. Yeah, that was quite an unforgettable moment. Pas tu bila lampunya dibukain, gitu. Gitu. So that was quite a cool moment. Tapi itu juga waktu itu I released a single called Broken, single yang paling pertama dalam karir aku. Dan itulah kali pertama yang I heard everyone sing the lyrics. Jadi that's quite a dream for me, you know. I think for any musician, for people to really understand and know the words that you write and the feelings that you put out, you know. I think that feeling is irreplaceable to me.
Sure.
I think there's nothing in the world, not even like skydiving or you know, bungee jumping or whatever, that ada adrenaline seperti itu sih ya. It's the feeling of just like you mean something to so many people. I hope everyone gets to feel that, you know, from your loved ones or from sesiapa ya.
Yes, of course.
That's quite an overwhelming feeling. Yeah.
Oh,
that's amazing. And now you're part of SONY Music Entertainment, one of a major label in the world, right? So like working with labels and also like with your first EP, were there any like different while working alone? Like because I know you previously like indie, right?
Yeah, I was
like
an indie artist for a while.
and then now you're in the labels.
The difference is you have more money to spend.
Thanks, label. Thanks, Sony.
That's the difference. But I think depending on artis yang semua experience-nya beda juga sih. I think it depends on, it's not the label, but your relationship with the people who are in charge of your project. So I've been very lucky to have such an amazing relationship with the people who are in charge of my project.
Okay.
And they have, and the thing about me is I'm really good at convincing people about, I think that's, my one talent is not singing or songwriting, but I think my real talent is convincing people that I'm worth it gitu. Yeah, so I've had to do that all my life, you know, like convince people to pay attention to me. And I've just been very lucky to have people who understand what I want to do and really believe in the concepts and the songs that I put out. So yeah, I think with every different artist, it's a different experience. But for me, I've just really thankful that people really believe in what I do. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. After we heard about your experience coming from the wajib militer and then your school of music also, we are curious to know how Sezairi process of creating a songs.
Seorang Sezairi membuat lagu itu seperti
how
apa
to make
sih?
You get the inspired from the lyrics maybe of the songs.
So I think the way my brain works, right, is that dari kecil lagi I have a soundtrack in my mind to everything.
Wow.
Jadi waktu lagi jalan tepi pantai ada soundtracknya.
Okay.
Waktu mau tidur ada soundtracknya.
So
waktu bangun pagi ada soundtracknya. So I think that's very useful because in the end, when I'm trying to say something, there's always a melody in my mind that makes sense with what I'm feeling. And so, like especially when it comes to It's You, right?
Yeah.
Because waktu aku menulis lagu It's You itu saya sama istri saya baru bernikah juga. Memang ceritanya memang kami baru bernikah.
Okay.
And so that soundtrack was playing in my head over and over again. So it feels almost like I don't know if it's narcissistic or whatever, but I feel like my life is like an indie movie gitu. And sometimes it just feels natural for me, you know, like connecting feelings and melodies. It's just something that comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
Karena dari kecil lagi, saya dari keluarga yang not very well to do, and so my ayah saya harus kerja 2 job.
Wow.
Waktu saya muda dia kerja 2 job. Jadi waktu siang dia hantar surat, hantar letter, he send letters.
Yeah.
Like a postman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tapi on the weekends dia salesman hi-fi.
Wow.
Yeah. So dia memang minat hi-fi. Tapi kami sebagai keluarga kami nggak berapa mampu karena hi-fi itu mahal.
Yes.
Jadi dia memang pintar banget sih bang, ayah saya. Karena rumah kami dia buat acoustic treatment dan dia bilang sama bosnya, stok baru semua letak aja di rumah saya.
Wow.
Ya jadi kalau ada klien yang mau mendengar hi-fi yang mahal ini. Yes. Datang aja ke rumah. Ya, mau tesnya datang karena di showroomnya nggak ada, there's not enough space, right?
Yeah.
Jadi datang aja ke rumah. Jadi tiap weekend dijemput klien ke rumah saya. Dan musik itu memang dikeliling rumah itu tiap hari, tiap malam gitu. Iya. Jadi aku juga kayak aneh gitu bagi aku yang dia nggak mau aku jadi seorang musisi. Karena dari kecil lagi yang there's one constant in my life is music.
Yeah. That's true.
And so I think that's also why with every emotion that I've gone through as a child, there's always like music in the background gitu. Yeah. So I guess that's how I started out.
And maybe that's how you get the convincing way, because your dad also very convincing to others.
Salesman vibes. Yeah. Salesman vibes.
That's amazing. So like with you creating music, like you say, like you always have soundtracks and everything you do. So basically you get all inspiration with everything you touch, or maybe you see.
Yeah, most things.
That's amazing. And for your team, is it going to be different for each project, or you have like specially like a bigger pictures for one music, or this is Sezairi? So I just want to be like this.
I think beda sih. Every project is a bit different. I think the beauty of being a creative person is that you get to work with other creative people.
Yes, that's true.
I think kolaborasi itu sesuatu yang yang paling penting dalam proses kreatif. Because I think when you put a lot of hits together, it really makes something a lot better when there are more people thinking about it, I think.
Yeah, true.
For me, I think you as a creative, you have to understand that you are definitely not going to be good at everything. And once you understand that you can't do everything, you'll open your eyes to understanding who's good at what, and who wants to help you do what. And so I've been very fortunate also in my career to work with orang kreatif dari Indonesia, dari Malaysia, and memang I look at myself sebagai anak perantau gitu, because keluarga saya memang dari Jawa, keluar dari sebelah ibu memang dari Jawa, dari sebelah bapak dari Banjarmasin, tapi ketemunya di Malaysia. Kemudian waktu ibu dan ayah dilahir, mereka ke Singapura, dan aku dilahir di Singapura. So I've always seen myself as I don't know where I belong because my family is from here, tapi akhirnya di sini. And so bila waktu berkarya juga I see myself as I want to have people from all over Nusantara. Because I really believe that Nusantara is really the best place to be creative for me. Because for me there's a sense of belonging gitu. And kami sebenarnya semua di Nusantara ini we are the same kind of people with different cultures, and it's so amazing when you look at the things that we have in common, especially our food, our culture. Even though we speak slightly different variations of the same language, and that's just so cool to me growing up, because waktu di sekolah belajar bahasa Melayu, tapi di rumah sama kakek ngomong bahasa Indonesia. Jadi waktu kecil bingung gitu, kenapa, why are these words used but not used in school? And then when I talk to my friends it's different, when I talk to my family it's different. And that's just the beauty of it for me, is that we have so much in common. And more often than not, we choose to fight about it than celebrate it.
That's true.
And when you look at social media, everyone's like, "No, this is mine. No, ini punya aku, ini punya aku. Rendang is mine. Nasi lemak is mine. Like it's always we're always fighting, but
fighting about that.
That's so interesting also. Because at the end of the day, you realize that wow, we all come from the same place. We like the same things. We appreciate the same art. We make the same kind of music, and we think about the same kind of beauty in the landscape that we have,
That's true.
And that's why I said earlier that it's so beautiful to be a creative in Nusantara, because it really grounds you to where you're from and who you are as a person,
Alright, all good. That's all about the Sezairi background and experience. Also, we have been now about that. But we going back to Rachel to song "It's You."
It's you.
It's you.
Oh my God! It's not us. We're not going to sing. I know.
Okay.
Nobody wants to hear us.
Maybe Rachel want to collaboration with Sezairi after this.
Maybe gulung kabel ya. I'll do it. Don't worry.
Okay, we're going back about the viral single "It's You." It's have been viral in the past years, and then how you to handling the popularity of.
Suddenly like boom, it's like you this. Everywhere. It's you.
Everywhere it's you.
Karena "It's You" itu lagi booming waktu pandemi.
Yeah, that's right.
Jadi aku nggak percaya sih waktu aku lihat di phone, and I'm looking at all these new streams on Spotify and new TikTok. Followers and I just opened a TikTok account and suddenly everyone's like there. And gila sih. Aku nggak percaya. Actually I didn't really believe it until tahun lepas waktu di Jakarta. When I was in Jakarta and aku manggung di Sarina, it was just crazy that people in public were singing that song with me. And that was the first time that I was like, oh crap, this is real, this is quite real. And so I don't know, I feel like my fear is always that the wrong song will go viral. That's my fear. Is that sometimes you release a song that you really like, and sometimes this is like medium, and it's like medium rare. Ada yang well done, ada yang medium rare, ada yang rare kan. And so your fear as an artist is always like lagu yang medium rare itu yang booming. And so the thing that I'm most grateful for and that I'm most thankful for is lagu "It's You" yang paling mungkin pada aku paling bermakna, paling the heaviest meaning in the song that means the most to me that I've ever written adalah lagu yang paling viral. And so for me as an artist, I feel like my job is done already gitu.
Your job is done, but now every husband's or every spouse's job is not done. They have to sing like you, you know.
But it's more like, you know, whatever happens in my career now, obviously I'm looking forward to more things, and I definitely have so many more songs that I'm so excited to release. But whatever happens, I've already experienced this, you know.
Yeah.
I've already had this experience with It's You that people love it so much, and I've always seen, like I said, seen my life like a movie. And now people use this song as like a soundtrack to the movie of their life.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
And every weekend, I'll get like a message from someone who just baru bernikah gitu. And like, you know, I use this song for my wedding, and I use this song. I proposed to this song, and I just feel like that's the greatest gift that anyone can give me, is that this song is now a part of your forever, you know. It's forever, you know.
Forever.
Yes, forever.
Until the generation is
Yes,
coming on.
exactly.
This is Sezairi.
Yeah, when you have kids, you'll be like, you know, we use this song at, you know,
Yeah.
It's forever now. You can't take it back. So, that's something that I'm super grateful for.
Okay. After you got this song is viral, maybe a lot of people asking you for the collaboration, maybe, or endorsements. A lot of people direct message you.
Ada dokter yang mau membetulkan gigi. Ada dokter yang mau membetulkan mata. Ada kebanyakan dokter ya. Nggak tahu kenapa, mungkin saya nggak cukup, I don't know, nggak cukup ganteng atau apa. But yeah, not really actually. Yeah, I think for the most part I'm very shy on social media sebenarnya.
Oh really?
Yeah, but if you give me a microphone, I'll talk for 2 days.
But too long,
this is going to be 2 days, guys. This is going to be 2 days.
I can be here forever, guys. But you know, but on social media, I just feel like, I don't know, I'm quite shy. With my personal life, I feel like it's so special, right? If you keep personal things to yourself sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because everything is on social media now.
Yeah.
And I think if someone really means so much to you, I feel like you want to keep it to yourself gitu.
True.
Yeah. But that's how I feel,
That's amazing. Well, let's now talk about Violet's Iron Blue. While It's You, it's booming last year. You released this album, and like it is kind of different vibe with It's You, and it is not as dreamy as It's You, of course. Yeah. And why you chose this theme?
The thing most people don't know about me is I'm a very sad person.
Oh no!
I'm the saddest guy who ever lived. But I think also because It's You was quite a special moment in time.
Yeah.
And the thing about making music is that most of the time you're making something out of nothing, right?
Yeah, true.
And so this nothing has to come from somewhere. And while making It's You, I realized that there is no faking it, you know.
Yeah.
There's no faking how you feel. There's no faking the truth in what you make. And so while I was making a new album, Violets Aren't Blue, that was when the pandemic had just hit.
Yeah, 2020 then.
Yeah, and we had lost family members. And I had lost the first 2 cats that I had taken care of for 13 years. And it was just a moment of a lot of sadness, a lot of death, a lot of longing.
Yeah.
So suasana di keliling itu cuman kesedihan.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that I think the thing that you should be doing with your art is that you need to be honest with yourself, and you need to be honest with the people who are invested in what you make, you know. And I didn't want to make something that I had to fake a smile and go and do promotional tours and go like, haha, I'm so happy, guys. Yeah, I did so many positive things in this pandemic, you know. And I feel like although it took a lot, and a bits of it I always kind of feel like, am I going to regret this? But I felt like that was satu proses yang sangat necessary.
Yeah.
Buat my own mental health, you know. And I feel like when I was making these songs, I let so many things out. I let so many things yang dipendam buat that whole 2 years, and I managed to squeeze it all out. And so right now, although I thought that I was gonna regret it, looking back, I really appreciate it as a body of work. You know, I really appreciate it as my own truth. Karena menulis lagu ini seperti terapi gitu.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is that when you're listening to someone else's song, it's therapy, right? But when you're listening to your own song, it's like your own therapist gitu. Kayak you're your own therapist.
Yeah.
And that's the scariest thing, because you are reflecting your own thoughts to yourself constantly.
Yeah.
And so while I was making it, I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about how I handle bad situations, the worst situations. I mean, we're talking about death, right?
Yeah.
And I learned so much about how I handled these situations. I learned so much about how I want to be seen as a person, and how I want to treat others. And so, yeah, looking back, I think it was a very necessary process.
Wow.
And I'm so happy that I trusted myself, and the label just trusted me to do it. Yeah, that's something that I'm quite thankful for.
Okay,
that's amazing.
Yes.
But do you wish this album will go viral as it should?
To be honest, I don't really care. You know, I think there's more to making art than content.
Yeah.
I think even though you're making a pop song, it really reaches into a deep place of truth, you know, regardless of how simple it is. And so I think the important thing for me is that there are people out there who feel the same.
Yeah, true.
That's just, I don't want to make something that appeals to everyone without it appealing to what's inside them, you know. Yeah, and I feel like whatever I'm going through as a person, I want to be as honest and as sincere as I can, so that I think that's the right way to attract the right crowd, you know.
Yeah.
Like how it's the same like how you attract the right group of friends.
True.
For example, right? If you're faking your life, if your life is just like how it is on Instagram, you'll attract fakeness.
True.
But if you're honest with people, and if you're honest about your suffering, if you're honest about your joys, if you're honest about the things that you like, you'll attract the same kind of people who will then fill all these gaps in your heart, you know. And it's something that I think because of social media we don't get to do a lot, because society dictates that we need to live our lives in a certain kind of
limited,
way. Yeah, and it limits you as a person, you know. And so, yeah, I think when you put out sincerity and honesty and truth, you will attract the same kind of energy from everyone around you. And that to me is like, that's life, you know. That's like the meaning of life, you know, to love.
That's true. Yep.
And to be loved in return, and to have a community of people who understand you and who believe in you and who want to support you, just like you want to support them. And you know, till you grow old and
this is really sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe you've been performing in Indonesia for so many times.
A little bit, yeah.
And I think you've been friend also with Indonesian musicians, a lot of singers.
A little bit, yeah.
Maybe this is a sneak peek of collaboration.
Well, I'm actually in Bali to do something.
Besides drinking jamu.
Yeah. How do you know I love jamu so much? Everyone always messages me to give me jamu recommendations. I have a bad stomach.
Yeah.
So jamu is really what, like, out of all the medicines that I've grown up eating, you know, you go to the doctor and they give you antibiotics or whatever. Tapi jamu yang paling efektif sih bagi aku.
Pagi minum jamu, guys.
Ya, pagi minum jamu, sebelum tidur minum jamu, and it's like, wow, your life is great. You fart and you burp and all the bad things go out of you, and then you know, your mind is clear and you can think better, and you don't have gas stuck in your body, and you're not angry all the time. Yeah, and so I drink a lot of jamu, man.
Really?
Okay.
Mungkin dalam satu hari 2 liter gitu.
Oh.
It's like water.
Yeah, 5 liter air dan 2 liter jamu. That's the secret, man.
Wow, to have a voice like you.
Maybe not. But to live your life.
That's a secret.
Yes.
I'm going to drink jamu from now.
More like to live a gas-free life, I think.
Oh, gas-free life.
Gitu.
Anyway, sneak peek?
Sneak peek.
Oh, we're going back to that one.
I'm actually here to collaborate with a producer.
Oh, I think I know this one.
Yeah, that's based in Bali. Yang selama ni aku memang pengen kerja sama dia. I've been a big fan of his music dari tahun 2010 gitu. And I feel like the trajectory of his career and my career is so similar.
Yeah.
That berapa bulan yang lalu kemarin I spoke to him on Zoom and I realized that we are like essentially almost the same person gitu. I think you might know him. His name is Petra Sihombing.
Yeah, of course I know.
Of course,
yeah. And so me and Petra have been working on my new album.
Oh.
And it's only been 6 days, but we have so many songs already, and it's just vibing. And it has this like tropical island vibe to it.
Bali.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but the air in Bali is so different.
It's different. It's humid now.
It's humid, but in a really good way, you know.
Yeah.
And I think sebagai seorang anak kota, like when you come here, the difference is really big.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the difference that it has, I think, on your mental health and also on your, just the way the air smells and the way the sun rises, I think it's such a privilege to be able to experience that,
Yeah.
and in order to be creative also, it's so great to just be surrounded by nature and be surrounded by so much.
Yes.
I think orang Bali semua ramah sih.
Oh, thank you.
That's the one thing. That's the one difference that I feel like everywhere in Southeast Asia that I've traveled, Balinese people is just extra nice. Gitu.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Extra nice.
Yeah, like extra nice.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I don't know. I feel so at home here and at peace.
Oh, maybe you should move here.
Yeah, maybe you have super.
Don't tempt me. That's been a dream of mine to just maybe I'll just work for the next 10 years and retire here.
Oh,
That's
maybe
the
5
dream.
years.
Maybe
Then you can move here.
Okay. Okay. If you guys help me promote my songs all the time, I think we could do 4.5 years.
We'll do, of course.
We could do,
Don't worry.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll have a guest room for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we close, actually,
Yes,
we will open like some questions if they want to ask you something.
Sure.
But what do you want to say, like from deep down inside your heart, like to your fans here in Bali, the one that keeps singing, "It's you"?
For me, right, I think I have a very special relationship with Indonesia juga. Karena waktu kuliah gitu sering ke Indonesia because I have so many friends here. And every year we'd go to like Java Jazz Festival.
Oh.
Every year there's so many music festivals here because I feel like I've never quite been to a place where the appreciation for music is just like a part of your life, It feels so special because I come from Singapore, and in Singapore it's like work. Tiap hari di kantor, pulang is like bangun tidur ke kantor lagi. Like the environment is so different from here.
Oh, I see.
And just to be surrounded by people whose mentality is like no music, no life gitu.
Yeah.
It's just something that I've related to my whole life, And I feel like I've always belonged here. And when after my record label deal, my first label deal, I actually produced my second album in Bandung.
Oh.
Yeah, so I spent quite a long time in Bandung making my second album. And even though not a lot of people knew me back then, I've always felt like the music community in Indonesia have always been like, Sezairi, you have to come here.
Yeah.
Everyone just treat me like their own family.
Oh.
And so waktu It's You viral di Indonesia, it feels like it comes full circle, for me.
Yeah.
It's like the place that I appreciate the most suddenly has so much appreciation for me in return. And I can't explain to you how that just like the oneness that feels. It just makes me feel so whole as a person, you know. And I have to thank everybody that's been listening to It's You, because I don't know, you've made me feel like I've been a part of your life gitu. And I'm just so thankful, and I hope that everything that I come up with in the future, I have that in mind, you know. I have the people of Indonesia in mind, and I feel like I just want to be here as long as I can.
You can.
As if my visa allows me to be here. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Itu tadi story semuanya tentang Sezairi.
Seru banget sih ya. Jadi ini kesempatannya teman-teman semua yang ada di sini. Kalau misalnya masih penasaran banget tanya-tanya tentang Sezairi, kita kasih kesempatan
kita buka untuk tiga orang
penanya ya. Silakan.
Yang mau bertanya silahkan.
Silakan angkat.
Boleh silakan. Kita punya 3 hadiah by the way. Jangan sedih.
Jangan sedih. Anda bertanya dapat hadiah loh.
Ih, luar biasa bukan?
Silakan.
Coba siapa nih ya dia mau bertanya? 3 orang silahkan. Silakan.
Tanyanya ke Sezairi ya, bukan
tanya ke Sezairi, jangan. Kita berdua close for question.
Silakan maju.
Oke, silakan. Namanya siapa tuh Kak?
Nama saya Tony. Ya, ingin nanya kalau bukan jadi penyanyi pengennya jadi apa?
Maunya jadi apa tuh? Dari awal udah bilang jadi produser soalnya.
Tata, sebenarnya sebelum saya kuliah musik, I had 2 options. I was actually not audition. What do you call it? I was interviewing to be seorang policeman.
Policeman.
Jadi surat college musik itu datang the same time as surat masuk police force. So I had to make a decision between joining the police force atau untuk menjadi seorang musisi.
Wow.
Then in Singapore, kalau you're a public servant and you're in the police force, kami kata hidup senang gitu. Karena you'll always have a job, stabil.
Yes.
And you know, as waktu itu umur lagi 18 tahun, the pay looked really good, you know. And I was like, wow, I can buy a car, I can buy a house gitu. Tapi I chose to be a musisi instead. Jadi kalau bukan musisi mungkin saya seorang polisi.
Ada seorang polisi. Ada lagi yang mau ditanyain Kak? Sudah, baiklah. Terima kasih Kak Tony. Oke, itu ada hadiahnya ya di sini. Ada lagi yang mau bertanya mungkin?
Ada yang mau bertanya? Kita kasih kesempatan lagi buat teman-teman yang ada di sini.
Kita kasih kesempatan, ada yang mau bertanya.
Siapa aja boleh? Silakan.
Boleh.
Silakan.
Mana tuh?
Dimi.
Silakan.
Dimi.
Boleh. Yuk. Silakan bertanya. Mana nih?
Ayo, silakan.
Yang lainnya mungkin ingat loh ada hadiahnya, Say.
Iya loh.
Oke.
Halo Sezairi.
Hai.
Aku Dimi. Aku mau nanya dong. Ini mungkin bukan pertama kalinya kamu ke Bali kan ya? Apa sih yang bikin kamu pengen buat balik lagi ke Bali? Dan apa sih makanan yang kamu suka di Bali?
Ayam betutu. McJewel.
Even know the place.
Specifically McJewel. But sponsor me McJewel. But apa yang buat aku pengen ke Bali? I don't know. Bali just feels like a very spiritual place gitu. And I'm a very spiritual person.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay. It's good.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that needs an hour alone by myself in the morning to like just, you know,
like
be quiet and meditate. And so when I think about being at peace, dalam suasana, dalam ketenangan gitu, the first place that comes to mind is Bali. Yeah. And so I think that's why. And also Petra is here, so I'm like, oh wow, it's fate, you know.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point.
That's the point.
Main point. Okay, satu lagi, untuk satu orang penanya lagi.
Another question, silakan.
Silakan, di sebelah sana, boleh silakan ke sebelah sini, boleh silakan bertanya. Di sebelah sini silakan. Halo, namanya siapa?
Halo. Perkenalkan Gungwah.
Namanya siapa? Gungwah.
Apa kabar
Pertanyaannya?
Baik. Untuk di Bali, mau manggungnya di mana ya?
Oh, you have any plan?
For the
manggung
concert, maybe?
Belum ada
Showcase?
plan untuk manggung lagi karena jadwalnya lagi sibuk produksi album baru.
Alright.
Ya, jadi buat kali ini belum manggung di mana-mana lagi, tapi mungkin in
Next
the future,
time maybe.
next time hopefully. Yes. I'll let you know.
Alright.
Follow dong Instagramnya gimana?
Ya, di follow @Sezairi
ya kan. Oke, itu dia 3 penanya yang sudah bertanya.
Terima kasih buat teman-teman semua.